So we are on this problem, longest common prefix. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string among an array of strings. If no common free prefix, return an empty string. This. Let's take an example. We have these strings over here. Their longest prefix is FL, as we can see. Similarly, these strings do not have any longest common prefix. So we would return an empty string. We are given that all of these letters are in lowercase. So we don't have to worry about the case difference. So to solve this problem, what we can do over here is we can assume this is the longest prefix, because any prefix would not be larger than this. No matter how big the numbers after this are, the longest prefix would never be longer than any of these strings. So let's assume that flower is the longest prefix. So let's say longest, assign it to flower. Then let's check it with flow. So we have flow over here. Let's start checking. So we have this, they are matching. So at least F is part of it. And then we check with L. We check with L. It's part of it. We check O. We have O. So O is part of it. We have W. We have W. So W is part of it. We have E and we don't have anything over here. So we can say for these two strings at least, flow is the longest at this point in time. So let's reassign longest to FLOW. Now let's bring flight. FLIGHNT. Let's check with this. Flow is part of the longest. Sorry, F is part of the longest. L is part of the longest. And after that, it does not match. So longest would become F and L. And that is what we have a solution over here. So the approach is very simple. Assign longest to any one of the strings and then compare with each one by one, and every time change the value of longest. So now let's take a look at the code implementation. So here in the code editor, I have this function given longest common prefix, which has a parameter, a list of strings. So let's first of all assume a longest. Longest equals to, from the strings list, assign it to the first string. Now let's iterate through the next strings. So for string in the rest of the strings, so I can say strings, and in Python I can do 1:, so it would start from index 1 until the end, and I want to go through every string. Let's assign a local prefix. Local prefix. Let's assign it to empty right now. This would be the new prefix that we would create, and we would assign it to the longest. Now we need to go, we have two strings. We are at this stage where we have two string, one is assigned to the longest and the other is, right now we are checking. We need to iterate through both of these strings. How long can we really iterate? Until the length of the smaller string. So for I in range, minimum of the two lengths, or the length of the other string, which would be string. So this would iterate until the minimum of the two strings. So if they match longest at I, is equals to string at I. If they match, they will be in the local prefix. Local prefix plus equals to the string. I can assign it to anything. Otherwise, if this is not true, let's break out of this for loop. And once we break out of this for loop, I want to reassign the longest to the local prefix. And that's how we are done. So we can say that at the end, let's return just the longest. Let's try to run this. We have it passing. Let's submit it. Okay, so we have a solution.